It's 2:03 a.m. Your eyes burn. Your laptop screen is a battlefield of tabs you didn't open to finish anything, just to escape. You told yourself you'd only scroll for 5 minutes. It's been 40. Again. The deadline's still there. The guilt, louder than ever. And you're asking yourself something you don't even want to say out loud. Am I just not meant for this? You've been trying. God, you've been trying. But the motivation's gone. The energy, dead. And worst of all, you can't tell anyone. Because everyone thinks you're the smart one, the strong one, the one who'll be just fine. But you're not fine. You feel like you're falling behind in a race no one trained you for. You're tired of pretending you care, tired of starting over, tired of disappointing you. But here's the truth they never tell you. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're broken. You're overwhelmed. And this video? This is not just another "you got this" speech. This is a reset button. So breathe. Because you're not alone. This isn't where your story ends. The lie you've been sold. You've probably heard this sentence 100 times. Just work harder. As if the cure for burnout is more burning. As if pushing yourself past empty will magically refill your tank. But let's be honest. You've tried. You've forced yourself to sit for hours, staring at the same sentence, rereading the same line, hoping something will click. You've made the to-do lists. You've set the alarms. You've done the late nights and early mornings. And still, somehow, it's never enough. That's the part no one says out loud. This system isn't built for your mind. It's built to measure output, not effort. It rewards the ones who can grind without breaking, and punishes those who feel too much, think too much, drown in their own thoughts before even picking up a pen. They tell you school is about discipline. But how do you stay disciplined when your brain feels like it's on fire? How do you study for a test when your chest is tight with anxiety? How do you focus when the voice in your head won't stop whispering, "You're falling behind. You're not good enough. Everyone else is ahead." You've been told the problem is you, that if you just managed your time better, you'd be fine. But the truth is, this isn't just about time. It's about fear, pressure, isolation. It's about a system that pushes you to the edge and then blames you for slipping. And here's the truth nobody wants to admit. You don't need to be fixed. The lie does. The lie that your worth is measured by your grades. The lie that falling behind means you're a failure. The lie that if you're struggling, it's because you didn't try hard enough. No, you're not lazy. You're exhausted from carrying a weight that was never meant to be carried alone. And if you've made it this far into the video, then deep down, you're still searching for a reason to get back up. We're gonna find that reason together. When effort feels like nothing, there's a moment that breaks people, and it's not failure. It's giving your all and still falling short. You know what I'm talking about. You stay up all night finishing that assignment. You show up, you turn it in, you hope it counts for something. And then a low grade, a cold comment, or worse, silence. And it stings in a way that's hard to explain. Because it's not just about the grade, it's what it confirms. Even my best isn't enough. So what do you do the next time? You try a little less. You hand it in late, or not at all. Not because you're lazy, but because you're scared. Because trying again and failing again would hurt more than not trying at all. That's the twisted cycle no one sees. You start off full of hope. You give your energy, your time, your heart. You don't get rewarded. You get burned. So you protect yourself. You start pretending you don't care. But you do. You care so much it's eaten you alive. And in your silence, the world mislabels you. Teachers call you unmotivated. Friends say you're too chill. Your parents ask, why don't you just try harder? But how do you explain a pain that lives in your bones? How do you describe what it's like to feel mentally paralyzed by expectations? This is the part where most people quit. Not loudly, not with drama, just slowly. They stop showing up, stop dreaming, start hiding, but not you. Because you're still here, still watching, still hoping there's something on the other side of this numbness. And there is. But first we need to go deeper. the war in your head. You wake up and it starts, that quiet dread. That pressure sitting on your chest before your feet even hit the floor. You open your eyes and already you feel behind. You tell yourself you'll start fresh today. That this time, you'll be focused, disciplined, productive. But the moment you try to begin, your brain turns against you. You'll never catch up. Why bother? It's already too late. And now you're not even fighting school. You're fighting yourself. That's the cruelest part. It's not just the deadlines, the grades, the pressure from others. It's the inner war. The guilt when you rest, the shame when you work, the constant unrelenting voice that says, "You're not enough." So you bounce between extremes. Overwork, shut down, grind, crash. You chase motivation like it's a miracle drug and blame yourself when it doesn't last. But here's the truth. This isn't a laziness problem. It's a nervous system in survival mode. Your brain doesn't see school as a task anymore. It sees it as a threat. And every time you try to push through it, it resists. Not because you're weak, but because your body is trying to protect you from something it doesn't understand. That's why the usual advice doesn't work. Just do it. You've tried. Be consistent. You want to. But no one talks about the fear behind the failure. No one tells you that your self-worth is not supposed to hang on a GPA. You are not your productivity. You are not a grade. You are not falling behind. You are surviving with a brain that's doing its best to keep you safe in a world that keeps yelling, "Hurry up!" So breathe. You're not broken. You're overwhelmed, overstimulated, and starving for peace. And maybe, for the first time in a long time, you need permission to stop fighting yourself and start listening. Because that war in your head, it doesn't end by force. It ends with understanding. The loneliest room in the world. There's a specific kind of silence that happens at 2 a.m. Not peaceful, not quiet, just hollow. You're sitting there, lights off, screen glowing, and it hits you. No one really sees you. Not the real you. Not the one drowning in overdue assignments. Not the one scrolling through study videos and motivational speeches, hoping something clicks. Not the one whispering, "Please, I just need a way out." You could scream in that moment and still feel unheard. Because who do you tell that you feel like you're failing at life at 19? That your mind won't shut off, but your body won't move? That you want help, but also want to disappear? It's not that people don't care. It's that they don't understand. They see the grades, the smile, the fake "I'm fine." But they don't see the breakdowns in the bathroom, the skipped meals, the shaking hands before clicking submit. The way your chest tightens every time someone says, "This should be easy." This is the loneliest room in the world. The space between wanting to be okay and not knowing how. But hear me, just because you feel alone right now doesn't mean you are. There are thousands, millions of students scrolling through the same darkness, thinking the same things, carrying the same guilt. And the truth? You're not behind. You're not late. You're just human in a world that forgot how to slow down. You're allowed to not be okay. You're allowed to struggle. You're allowed to sit in this mess for a moment and say, "This is hard." Because it is. And pretending it's not only makes the silence louder. But guess what? You're not staying here forever. This moment, this breakdown, isn't your ending. It's the part in your story where the lights go out right before they come back on. Burnout isn't weakness, it's a message. Let's get one thing straight. Burnout isn't failure. It's your body waving a white flag, screaming, "I can't survive like this anymore." But instead of listening, you've been gaslighting yourself, telling yourself you're just lazy, that you should man up, get over it, push through. Because that's what everyone else seems to be doing, right? But here's the raw truth. Burnout isn't a sign that you're not trying hard enough. It's a sign you've been trying for too long, without a break, without support, and without kindness to yourself. You weren't designed to wake up tired, to live your whole day in a fog, to measure your worth by how many boxes you checked off. But the system you're in, It trains you to ignore the red flags, to normalize the exhaustion, to treat breakdowns like speed bumps instead of roadblocks. So you keep going until your brain starts glitching, until you stare at your laptop for hours and can't even open the file, until your favorite music feels numb, until everything you once cared about starts to feel meaningless. And that's not weakness. That's burnout. A full system overload. Your mind, your heart, your soul trying to shut down before you do. So what now? You don't fix burnout by shaming it. You fix it by listening to the exhaustion, to the part of you that's been neglected, ignored, silenced. You need rest, yes, but not just sleep. You need emotional rest, mental rest, identity rest. You need space to exist without performing. And most of all, you need to believe that your worth is not earned through exhaustion. Because here's the thing, you are not behind for needing to pause. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. And you are absolutely allowed to stop running so you can start healing. Let this be that pause. Let this be the moment you stop blaming yourself and start listening to what your burnout is actually trying to say. Help me come back to life. You're allowed to want more. You've been surviving for so long, you've forgotten what it feels like to want something. Not just to finish an assignment, not just to pass the semester, but to actually want something for you. Somewhere along the way, you stopped dreaming. Stopped imagining a life beyond due dates and burnout. Because it felt safer to expect nothing than to risk disappointment. But hear this. You are allowed to want more than just survival. More than just scraping by. More than just pretending you don't care when deep down your heart aches for meaning. You are allowed to want joy. To want excitement. To want to wake up in the morning and not feel dread in your stomach. And no, it's not selfish. It's not unrealistic. It's not too much. It's human. But to want more, you have to believe you're worth more. And that's hard, isn't it? Because the world has been so loud about your failures, but so quiet about your strengths. It celebrates the perfect and shames the struggling. And somewhere in the noise, you forgot. You matter even in your mess. You are not a project that needs fixing. You're a person that needs space. To breathe, to try, to fall, to feel, to want. So what do you want? Forget what you should do. What do you crave when no one's watching? What does your soul whisper when the noise goes quiet? That thing, that dream, it's not stupid. It's not impossible. It's you. Waiting for you to believe in it again. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to take the first honest step. Not for school. Not for your parents. Not for the expectations taped to your back. For you, because you deserve a life that feels real. And it starts the moment you stop settling for less than what your heart knows is possible. The comeback doesn't need applause. You've heard the stories. The glow-ups, the turnarounds, the I hit rock bottom then built an empire montages. But no one talks about the real comeback. The one that happens quietly. When no one's cheering, when no one's filming, when it's just you picking up the broken pieces alone in silence, that's the real comeback. When you choose to keep going without the energy, without the clarity, without the certainty that it'll even work. When you get up, not because you feel strong, but because you refuse to let this be the end. That's the bravest thing you'll ever do. And no, it won't be pretty. It won't go viral. It won't feel like a movie. It'll look like opening your laptop, even though your hands are shaking. It'll look like emailing your teacher, even though you're scared they'll judge you. It'll look like getting out of bed, eating something real, drinking water, choosing not to disappear today. These are the quiet wins, the invisible milestones, and they matter more than anyone knows. You don't need a grand plan right now. You don't need to map out your whole future tonight. You just need to show up a little. For yourself. For the version of you that hasn't given up. Because the comeback, it's not some distant explosion of success. It's a whisper. It starts here. It starts now. And it starts with you saying, I'm not done yet. This isn't where you give up. You made it all the way here. Through the fog, through the guilt, through the ache in your chest that's been screaming, I can't keep doing this. And still you stayed. That says something about you. Something loud. Something strong. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not behind. You are fighting battles no one sees, and still choosing to look for light in the dark. That isn't weakness, that's power. So if you're watching this at 2 a.m., overwhelmed, scared, tired of pretending, know this. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to feel lost, but you are not obligated to disappear. Your story doesn't end here. Not in this chapter. Not in this season. You get to choose what happens next. Not perfectly, not all at once, but slowly, gently, on your terms. So here's your next step. Close this video. Take one deep breath. And do one thing, just one that brings you back to yourself. Then tomorrow, do it again. And when you're ready, we'll be here. If this video felt like your story, tell us. Drop a comment. Let us know what part hit you hardest. Because you're not alone, and someone else in this comment section needs to hear your voice too. You've got this not because it's easy, but because you're still here. And that means something.